advocacy meet-up groups and whispered between bunks in institutional buildings. We have so much left to learn from disabled ancestors and elders who have survived abuse in the JRC for at least the last 2 decades, the vast majority of whom have always been disabled Black and Latinx people. Those whose histories and lives are much more readily erased and omitted from our retellings. It would be easy for other people to wonder why JRC warrants so much study, and more generally, why many of us have focused so much effort on ending the JRC's abuses in particular. After all, it's only one institution, with fewer than 300 total residents, and there are thousands of other institutions with tens of thousands of other disabled people also subjected to all types of abuse every day. But as you'll hear in exacting detail in Pain and Shock in America, the rhetoric espoused by JRC's founder and his almost cult-like supporters, and the approach that such rhetoric has enabled, represent a particularly harmful nexus of ableist beliefs and practices. The JRC's core philosophy is based on the beliefs that our distinguishing traits are inherently incomprehensible, bad, and worth suppressing, and therefore that anything people try to do to change us is okay, so long as it is framed as treatment. The JRC, like all other institutions and much of the disability services industry overall, treats non-disabled parents' interests and perspectives as interchangeable with, a substitute for, and more important, more human than our own. The JRC's aversive interventions, some of the most overt and extreme forms of disability-specific abuse, represent the logical conclusion of the dehumanization of neurodivergent people. The JRC symbolizes some of the worst manifestations of ableism, and that's why so many of us continue to fight so vehemently against it. Many disabled activists, advocates, and community organizers have survived similar kinds of trauma, including coercive care, forced treatment, medical experimentation and discrimination, and emotional and psychological abuse. Our community has long forged bonds through these shared experiences of trauma, even across many differences in our identities and experiences. Thus, we feel viscerally the impact of the JRC's abuses, and what it says about how our society thinks about disabled people, that those in power have repeatedly refused or failed to shut down the JRC. Stopping the shock and closing the JRC would not end all ableist violence against disabled people, but it would send a powerful message that no other disabled people should ever have to be tortured in the name of treatment again. At the risk of spoiling the ending to the book, the story of the disability advocacy community's fight against the JRC and its use of aversive interventions is, sadly, not over yet. The JRC and its allies in the medical profession, the legislatures, the courts, and the media could very well undermine, if not undo, all the progress we've made if the past 50 years discussed are any indication. Still, we have in fact made progress, and perhaps one day it will lead to a further reckoning for the JRC's founder, leadership, and apologists. Meaningful accountability and reparations to the survivors will be difficult, if not impossible, to measure or obtain through the legal system that has long defended and upheld ableist violence. But we will keep fighting both inside and outside the courts, the agencies, and the legislatures until every one of us is free. We imagine what it might be like to live in a world where not only is the JRC part of history, but its practices are completely